So in the previous example, we talked about how to construct a box plot given data. And the way that we did that is we took our data, we sorted it, we gathered the information for the 5-number summary, and then we constructed the box plot with our whiskers at the min and max, the box being from Q1 to Q3, and then the median was represented by that line through the box. So in this lecture, I want to talk about how we can compute the IQR from a given box plot and then use the IQR to determine the boundaries for potential outliers. In section 2.3, we discussed how the IQR factors into identifying potential outliers. And so I'll outline that again here. So the first thing we want to do is compute the IQR, which is done by taking Q3 and subtracting Q1. So in our box plot, we can identify Q3 by being the right side of the box, which is 15. And Q1 is the left side of the box, which is 4. So subtracting those two, I get an IQR of 11. Next, we're going to compute the lower fence. And so this is really the lower boundary, the cutoff mark for where we're going to have outliers on the low side. So that's done by taking Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. And in this example, Q1 was 4. As we saw a minute ago, the IQR is 11. So crunching this out, I get negative 12.5 for my lower fence. The upper fence is computed by taking Q3 and adding 1.5 IQR. So for us, Q3 here is 15. I add 1.5 by 11, and I get 31.5. Since all of my data falls between negative 12.5 and 31.5, again, the min and the max being 3 and 8, I don't have any outliers for this data. Everything is between the lower fence and the upper fence. So let's look at a second example here. I think the main difference that jumps out immediately is how narrow the box is versus the previous example. And so this is going to play a role in our IQR. It's going to shrink our IQR, and therefore it's going to shrink our upper and lower fence range. So again, the IQR is Q3 minus Q1. We have 14 minus 11, which gives us 3 for our IQR. Next, we'll compute the lower boundary or the lower fence by taking Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. I get 11 minus 1.5 times 3, which is 6.5. Similarly, I'll compute the upper fence, which is Q3 plus 1.5 of the IQR. And I get 18.5. So if I mark off 6.5 and 18.5 with these red brackets, this tells me that anything outside the brackets is considered an outlier. And we can clearly see that not all of our data falls within the upper and lower fences. So for sure, our min and our max are outliers.